Hello everyone and welcome to this instructional video that covers how to fill out the lead and copper sampling plan for non-transient non-community water systems and for community water systems. The sampling plan form can be found in the ANR Online portal following the link in the description below. Links to most lead and copper forms can be found in the Lead and Copper Rule website, also linked below. Once you've signed into ANR Online, you can search for the form using the search bar. The form is titled Lead and Copper Sampling Plan. Once you've reached the form, review the instructions. To be able to complete this form, you will first have to submit a subscriber agreement. The subscriber agreement is an ANR online form used to request electronic signature approval and to have the WSID number associated with your ANR online account. If you haven't done so already, please visit the link in the instruction page to the subscriber agreement form to request signature approval. You only need to go through this process once. If you're confident that you already have signature rights for your water system, you can scroll down and enter the WSID number and the distribution system that you are submitting the sampling plan for. For this example, we'll use 20567. If you get an error saying that the WSID was not found, please ensure that you have an approved subscriber agreement on file. Any questions about the subscriber agreement can be directed to the ANR Online Services email inbox. Continuing with the form, you can select the distribution system using the drop-down menu. In this case, we'll do Distribution System 1 and hit Begin Form Entry. The first page contains the water system information, which will pre-fill based on the water system ID you entered in the instruction page. The page will list out the water system name, the water system ID, the water system type, the population served, the number of service connections, the distribution system that this plan is for, and the water type. It is important that if the information above does not match your records, you reach out to your Lead and Copper Rule manager or verify that you have typed in the right WSID in the instruction page. Now you can hit Next section to go to the Sampling Guidance section. There are no questions to answer in this section. It is just meant to provide important information that should be read before the next section. When choosing sampling sites, aim for consumptive taps like bathrooms or kitchens. For non-residential buildings, sampling sites must consist of taps where water is typically drawn for consumption. Sampling sites cannot include any sites that have point-of-use filters. The next table explains the tier ranking selection. For each sampling site, you will have to select a tier ranking which will depend on the building type, the plumbing characteristics, and the age. First, fill the sampling plan with as many Tier 1 sites as you have within your water system. Then, if you need more sites, you can add any Tier 2 sites, and then you can add any Tier Other if you still need sites to reach the minimum number of taps. Now you can hit Next section. The form will automatically calculate the minimum number of taps required based on the population number that the water system serves. You can see here that for this example, the water system has to list a minimum of 5 sampling locations. For the first sampling site, I will list ensuring that I'm giving the tap sample location a very descriptive name that will make it easier to identify during the next sampling round. I select the site tier. In this case, it's a Tier 1 site, and the reason for tier choice. As you can see, I've listed a total of 5 taps, and I've given them all tiers and selected a reason for tier choice. To add extra row, you can simply click the Add Row button. If you want to delete a row that you no longer need, you can use the scroll bar to scroll all the way to the right and hit the X. After entering the minimum number of taps, you can scroll down where you can list any alternate tap sampling locations in case one or more of the previously used sites have become unavailable. In cases like these, having pre-approved extra sites can make the sampling period easier because you don't have to submit a new sampling plan. If samples are collected from an unapproved sampling site not listed in the current sampling plan, the lead and copper results from an unapproved sampling site may be rejected by the division. In this case, we will include 2 alternate tap sampling locations. Selecting a tier and selecting the reason for tier choice. After listing all the alternate tap sampling locations you want to provide, you can scroll down and hit Next section. In this section, you will need to answer some follow-up questions regarding the sampling locations that you previously selected. Does the sampling plan include at least 5 taps? Yes. Are all the sampling sites included in the sampling plan typically used to draw water for consumption? In this case, we've made sure that this is yes. Does the sampling plan include any filtered sampling locations? In this case, no. Note that in this question, if you select yes, you will receive an error message because sampling sites should not include any sites where point-of-use filters have been installed. Does the sampling plan include any alternate sites? In this case, we've included 2 alternate sites, so we can select yes. And last, you can use the comment bar to leave any additional comments that are relevant to this plan. The comment bar can be left blank if you don't have anything to include. And you can hit Next section. This last step is the review process, where you will get the opportunity to review the form to confirm the form is populated completely and accurately prior to the certification and submission. Once you're satisfied with the form, you can hit Next section, which is the signing portion of the form. In this section, you will digitally sign the form and submit it. For the purpose of this example, and because I'm an internal user, I can skip the signature portion. The certified statement pops up and I can submit the form. You can click the View Submission button, which will take you to the submission page where you can check the form status and submit any corrections if needed. If you have submitted the form successfully, you will receive an email confirming the submission and a follow-up email explaining that the form is in the In Review status, which means the Lead and Copper Rule Manager is reviewing the submission. Once the submission has been accepted, the status of the form will be updated to Deemed Complete, at which point the submitter will receive an email to alert that the submission has been accepted and no further action is necessary. This is the end of the instructional video. If you have any questions or concerns about the lead and copper sampling plan, please reach out to the compliance section. Thank you.